Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge into monumental struggles and unearth the surprising origins of unexpected heroes. Today we're taking a deep dive into the novelization of Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope, by George Lucas himself.
That's right. And this isn't just, going over the movie again.
No, definitely not. Our mission here is really to peel back the layers of this text. It's foundational, right? We want to reveal those critical nuggets, how the Republic fell, this desperate hope from just one message.
And looking at things maybe not obvious on screen, character motivations, surprising little facts unique to the book.
Exactly. So you, listening, can get truly well-informed about the deeper currents of this story you probably think you know inside out.
Yeah, the novelization often gives you a much more, let's say, intimate perspective. It really gets into the how and why behind the big screen moments.
Okay, so let's start there. The book doesn't kick off with, flashy space battles. It actually starts with this pretty chilling look at political decay. It talks about the Old Republic, once great, protected by the Senate, the Jedi. But it says it didn't fall to some outside attack. It rotted from within. So for someone familiar with the story, what does Lucas really emphasize about how that rot happened, beyond just Palpatine wanting power? Are there subtle warnings there?
That's a great point, because the book makes it really clear this wasn't like an overnight coup. It was insidious. An erosion. Palpatine's rise, it was masterful, really, how he exploited weaknesses in the system, individual greed. The book says he was aided and abetted by restless, power-hungry individuals within the government and the massive organs of commerce.
So big business and ambitious politicians. Sounds familiar.
Right. The key thing, the insight maybe, is that these huge threats often look like saviors at first. They use internal divisions, commercial interests, promise to restore glory.
Like Palpatine did.
Exactly. And that promise is just the way in. Then, boom, he declares himself emperor. The Jedi are wiped out through treachery and deception. It's a slow burn that suddenly catches fire.
A reign of terror, the Get calls it. And it paints this picture of just suffocation under the Empire.
Total control.
But even then, the novel mentions a few systems push back, start the rebellion, even though they're totally outnumbered.
Yeah, tiny spark.
And it opens with this quote, this kind of mythical bit from the Saga Journal of the Whills, Lucas's original idea for framing the story, right?
Yeah, that sort of in-universe history book idea.
It says, they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Naturally, they became heroes. What do you make of that framing?
Well, it immediately lifts it, doesn't it? It's not just an adventure. It feels almost fated, but still driven by choices. It perfectly sets up our first accidental heroes.
The droids.
The droids. Literally in the wrong place, wrong time. The book throws us right into the chaos after that Imperial attack on the rebel ship.
Oh, yeah, and you can practically hear C-3PO losing his mind. The classic 3PO panic. Madness. This is madness. This time we'll be destroyed for sure.
He's completely frantic. The book even says he's electronically cursing in several languages as they try to get away.
It's just perfect 3PO.
It really is. And it sets up that dynamic perfectly. The anxious one, the planner, versus the determined doer.
Because R2-D2 is the complete opposite.
Totally. He's closed-circuited, laser-focused on the mission. 3PO's regretting everything, but R2 just gets them into that life pod, gets them out.
Maybe the insight there is that sometimes just sheer focus, even from a little droid, cuts through the noise, preserves hope.
I think so. That single-mindedness is key.
Meanwhile, back on the Imperial ship, the novel gives us this truly chilling look at Vader.
Oh, yeah.
He's interrogating a captured officer for the information tapes.
Yeah.
And the description. Chilling, snapping, and popping a bone, it's brutal.
It really is. It shows you Vader's methods right away. No messing around.
The officer tries the whole diplomatic mission from Alderaan thing.
Doesn't work, obviously. Vader just dismisses it. He wants those tapes. Tells his troops, tear this ship apart piece by piece, wants the passengers alive.
But then, the life pod, the one with the droid.
Right. The Imperial captain just glances at the scopes. Instruments show no life forms aboard. And lets it go.
It's classic Imperial arrogance, isn't it? They rely so much on their tech, their procedures,
that they miss the obvious. The very thing they're hunting escapes right under their noses because it doesn't fit the scam profile. Power-breeding overconfidence.
And so that pod, carrying everything, ends up crashing down on Tatooine.
Of all places, the back end of nowhere.
And the novel paints such a harsh picture of it. You could burn your eyes out faster by staring straight and hard at the sun-scorched flatlands than at the suns themselves. Water is everything.
A constant struggle. And that's where we meet Luke Skywalker.
Our farm boy.
Yeah, and the book really gets inside his head. He's much less secure than his old vaporator, just dreaming of leaving, feeling stuck here on this blight of a farm.
Always arguing with Uncle Owen, right?
Yeah.
About the harvest versus joining the academy.
Constantly. And that feeling gets amplified when his friend Biggs Darklighter shows up.
Oh yeah, Biggs is in the novelization more.
He is. He's joined the rebellion, he's leaving, and he tells Luke straight up about the Empire. It's rotten, Luke, rotten.
Which just fuels Luke's frustration.
Totally. It confirms his feeling that there's something bigger out there, and he's missing it. It's not just teenage whining. It's a real sense of being trapped, you know?
Wow.
Perfect setup for, well, destiny.
A destiny, or maybe just bad luck for Uncle Owen, rolls up in a Jawa sandcrawler.
This huge vehicle run by these tiny scavengers.
The book has fun describing their crazy language that drove linguists mad, and 3PO's reaction to their hygiene.
3PO is disgusted, naturally.
So Owen and Luke are trying to buy some droids. They get this red R5 unit.
The one that almost immediately blows its motivator, right?
Yeah, it just goes pop. And that's when 3PO sees his chance.
He does his little sales pitch to Luke, whispering that R2-D2 is a real bargain and in top condition despite being covered in sand.
Trying to get himself a better situation.
Exactly. It's a completely self-interested little moment from 3PO, but it's pivotal. That's the moment the fate of the galaxy lands right in Luke's lap.
Just because one droid broke down and another wanted a clean workshop? Amazing.
Shows how small choices can trigger massive events, doesn't it?
So Luke's got these two droids now. He's cleaning R2 up in the garage.
Just tinkering away.
And he finds something, a little piece of metal. Triggers something unexpected.
Yeah, that's the moment. Suddenly, this three-dimensional image flickers to life. Princess Leia.
And her message.
Yeah.
It's urgent, breathless, anxiety-ridden. Obi-Wan Kenobi, help me. You're my only remaining hope.
Goosebumps moment, even reading it. But 3PO immediately throws cold water on it.
He does. He's like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, never heard of him. R2 must be malfunctioning.
Classic 3PO, always the cautious one. While R2 is just like, nope, mission, gotta find Obi-Wan. That contrast again.
So Luke, understandably confused, asks his Uncle Owen about this Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And Owen just shuts it down, hard.
Yeah, reacts with real discomfort, even anger. Calls him a crazy old man. He's dangerous and full of mischief.
There's real fear there, isn't there? It's not just dismissal.
Definitely. Owen says grimly, he died about the same time as your father. Tried to close the book on it.
But Aunt Beru adds that little comment.
He's got too much of his father in him.
And Owen replies, that's what I'm afraid of. Wow. That exchange in the novel, it's loaded with foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Hints at this hidden past, this trauma they've been carrying.
Protecting Luke, maybe, but also hiding the truth from him.
And delaying the inevitable, really. Because destiny, or maybe just R2's programming, finds a way.
R2 escapes. He's off to find Obi-Wan on his own.
Determined little droid.
So Luke has to go after him, which leads him right into trouble with the Tusken Raiders, the Sand People.
Who the book notes are larger, stronger, and far more aggressive than the Jawas. Things look bad for Luke.
Until this mysterious old man shows up, clad in a shabby cloak.
And scares off the Tusken Raiders with this unearthly howl.
A Krayt dragon call, which is awesome.
So cool. And of course, it's Ben Kenobi. Obi-Wan.
But he plays it cagey at first, doesn't he? Luke mentions the droid, and Ben says something like, I don't remember owning a droid.
Yeah, that little fib. It tells you how careful he's had to be, living and hiding all these years. Any connection to the rebellion, to this droid, could be deadly. He's testing Luke, maybe, seeing what's going on.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But then he fixes R2, gets the projector working properly.
And the full message plays. Leia identifies herself. Senator Leia Organa mentions her father, Bail Organa, and says the information vital to the survival of the Alliance is locked inside R2.
Suddenly, it's not just a weird message. It's galactic war landing on Luke's doorstep.
Completely changes everything, and Obi-Wan has to drop the Ben persona.
He confirms it all, tells Luke he was a Jedi Knight, fought in the Clone Wars, like your father.
Big reveal.
And then he explains the Force. Not just his magic powers, but as this energy field generated by living things, connecting everything, giving Jedi their abilities.
The novelization really emphasizes it as a philosophy, a worldview. It's more than just lifting rocks, you know.
Right. It's spiritual. And then he gives Luke the lightsaber.
Your father's lightsaber. That blue-white beam. Such an iconic moment.
But it comes with a heavy truth. He tells Luke how his father really died.
Yeah. Not just died, but was betrayed and murdered by a very young Jedi named Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan adds, one of my greatest failures.
Wow, that personal admission from Obi-Wan, that hits hard in the book.
It really does. Adds so much weight to his character.
So the stage is set. Obi-Wan calls Luke to action. You must learn the ways of the Force also, Luke, if you were to come with me to Alderaan. Frames it as fighting injustice. Distances are irrelevant to injustice.
Powerful call, but that call to adventure, it gets answered with tragedy almost immediately.
Yeah, Kenobi senses danger back at the farm. Imperial presence.
Luke races back on his speeder.
It finds just destruction. Twisted, burned shapes. His aunt and uncle, gone.
Brutal. And Kenobi knows instantly. It wasn't sand people, like the tracks suggest. It was Imperial troops, covering their tracks after killing the Jawas too. A massacre.
That's the final push for Luke, isn't it? The novel makes it so clear. He's not going on some grand adventure because he wants to. He's going because there's nothing left.
Absolutely. Survival, justice.
Yeah.
He tells Ben, I'll take you to the spaceport at Maz Eisley. I want to go with you to Alderaan. There's nothing left for me here now.
Heartbreaking, really. His choice is made out of ashes.
So off they go to Maz Eisley, which Kenobi perfectly describes as.
Not a more wretched collection of villainy and disreputable types exists anywhere on Tatooine. You get the picture.
Definitely. And right away, they run into Imperial troops checking IDs.
But Kenobi handles it. That classic Jedi mind trick.
So smooth. These aren't the droids you're looking for. He can go about his business. The novel highlights it as this quiet display of power. Not flashy, but incredibly effective.
Then they hit the cantina. Dark, loud, full of bizarre aliens, one-eyed creatures and thousand-eyed, creatures with scales, creatures with fur.
And the bartender's famous line, we don't serve their kind in here. Poor droids have to wait outside.
It's inside that Kenobi starts negotiating. Finds this sharp-featured young man, Han Solo, and his Wookiee co-pilot, Chewbacca.
Needs passage to Alderaan. No questions asked, preferably.
And Han's attitude is just pure mercenary from the start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Economics interest me, not politics.
All about the credits. But then things get rough. Some patrons hassle Luke.
And Kenobi steps in. Lightsaber flashes, leaves nothing but a smoking, slimy spot on the stone floor.
Whoa. And that display of power, that unconventional power, seems to be what convinces Han. He sees there's maybe more to this old man than meets the eye.
He agrees to the price, 17,000. All right, I'll chance it.
Though not before we see Han's own ruthlessness. Greedo shows up, bounty hunter.
Looking for money, Han owes Jabba the Hutt.
And Han just fries him under the table. Quick blaster shot. The novel includes the confrontation with Jabba, too, about that shipment of spice. Really cements Han as this scoundrel living on the edge.
So the deal's done. Luke sells his trusty land speeder. Poignant moment where he says, I don't think I'll need it again.
He's committed now, fully leaving his old life behind.
But the Imperials are closing in, searching for the droids. They have to make a run for it.
Hasty escape to Docking Bay 94. And there it is. The Millennium Falcon.
Described as a battered ellipsoid, and Luke's reaction is priceless.
What a piece of junk.
Perfect. Little does he know.
Right, but that piece of junk gets them out of there, dodging TIE fighters. Han's already worrying about practicalities, needing to forge a new registration.
Always think about the next scrape.
Mm.
But then they get to where Alderaan should be.
And there's just nothing. An asteroid field.
Shocking discovery. Alderaan is gone. Blown away. Totally. Obi-Wan instantly knows. The Empire.
Even Han, the cynic, struggles to grasp it. Destruction on that scale, by human agency. The novel really lets that horror sink in.
Unimaginable. And just as they're processing this horror...
They get caught, tractor beam, pulling them towards what looks like a small moon.
But it's no moon.
It's the Death Star, the battle station. Even Han is like, I'm helpless against this kind of power. Shows the scale of the Empire's terror weapon.
So they're pulled inside. And while they're trying to figure out what to do, the novel gives us this great contrast in philosophies.
Yeah, Luke starts his Jedi training. Obi-Wan has him using that little silvery globe remote, learning with the blast shield down.
Trust your feelings, Obi-Wan tells him. Let your mind drift. Rely on the Force.
And right alongside this, you have Han scoffing. Hocus-pocus religions and archaic weapons are no substitute for a good blaster at your side.
He's pure pragmatist. I determine my destiny, not some half-mystical energy field.
It's that clash again, isn't it? Faith versus cynicism. Intuition versus firepower. Beautifully done.
Meanwhile, elsewhere on the Death Star, Leia is still being interrogated.
By Vader and this cold, calculating Governor Tarkin. The novel emphasizes her strength, her defiance.
Even when Tarkin drops the bombshell. The Imperial Senate is dissolved. Permanently. And he tells her he's going to use Alderaan as a demonstration. Oh, wait, he already did. He used it to force her hand.
Right, and she gives him the fake base location, Dantooine, trying to save Alderaan, but it's too late. Tarkin sees through it, but destroys Alderaan anyway. It's chilling.
And Vader's just like, she can still be of value to us. Utterly ruthless.
But then rescue is on the way. R2 manages to tap into the station's network.
Finds her. She's here. She's here. In cell 2187.
So they hatch a plan. Luke, Han, Chewie. They disguise themselves as stormtroopers.
Which leads to some chaos. Shooting cameras, blasting guards, Han trying to bluff his way through on the comms. Everything's under control. Situation normal.
Hilarious. Pure solo improvisation.
And when Luke finally gets to Leia's cell, her reaction is classic.
Not exactly grateful prisoner, is she? First words. Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
Sarcastic right off the bat.
Yeah.
But she's also incredibly resourceful when they get pinned down by troops.
She takes charge. Blasts open the garbage chute. Get into that garbage chute, flyboy.
She's saving them as much as they're saving her.
Exactly. Which leads to that delightful sequence in the garbage compactor. The Dianoga, the thick whitish tentacle.
And the walls closing in. Remorselessly smaller, the book says. Tense stuff.
But R2 saves the day again, shutting it down just in time. While all that's happening, Obi-Wan is off on his own mission.
To disable the tractor beam so they can escape. But it leads him straight to Vader.
The confrontation we've been waiting for. Their lightsaber duel. It's heavy with history in the novel.
Vader acknowledges Obi-Wan, you were my teacher, but then I am the master now.
Chilling. And Obi-Wan's reply. It's so profound, especially in the book's context. If my blade finds its mark, you will cease to exist. But if you cut me down, I will only become more powerful.
He understands the Force on a level Vader maybe doesn't anymore.
I think so. And his sacrifice. It's portrayed as a conscious choice. He sees Luke, sees the others escaping, and he lets go.
Vanishes right as Vader's blade passes through his cloak. Luke sees it happen.
Heartbreaking for Luke. But then he hears Ben's voice in his head.
Luke, listen. It shows that connection isn't broken. Death isn't the end for a Jedi.
It's a transformation. A spiritual victory even in physical defeat.
Exactly. That's a key insight the novelization really brings home.
So the Falcon escapes the Death Star, makes its way to the hidden rebel base, on Yavin IV.
This jungle moon, Emerald, the book calls it, with these ancient pyramids left by a vanished race, now serving as Rebel HQ.
Leia arrives, still reeling from Alderaan, but her resolve is absolute. Alderaan and its people are gone. We must see that such does not happen again. Focused.
She delivers the Death Star plans stored in R2, and General Dodonna briefs the pilots.
Reveals the fatal flaw, that small thermal exhaust port, just 2 meters across. Leads straight to the main reactor. The plan. Fly small fighters down a trench, dodge turbolasers, and hit that tiny target precisely.
The novel really stresses how insane this plan is. Heavy concentration of firepower, distortion in the trench, making targeting hard, minimal maneuverability.
Dodonna's warning is stark. There won't be any after that. Basically, you get one shot. It feels like a suicide run.
Which is exactly what Han Solo thinks. He takes his reward money.
And says he's leaving. Economics interests me, not politics, calls the attack suicide.
Luke is crushed. You're turning your back on them. That conflict between idealism and cynicism again.
But Luke has to fly. He reunites with Biggs briefly before the battle. He's determined now. Knows what he has to do.
Then comes the trench run itself. Tense, fighters getting picked off, comrades dying.
Vader himself is out there in his custom TIE fighter.
Luke makes his approach. He's got the targeting computer locked. But then he hears it again.
Obi-Wan's voice. Trust your feelings, Luke.
And he makes the choice. Switches off the computer. Relies purely on the Force.
An incredible leap of faith. Vader's closing in, about to take the shot.
And suddenly, blaster fire. TIE fighters exploding.
It's the Millennium Falcon. Han came back.
Yahoo! Chewie roaring! Han provides the cover Luke needs. The novel mentions the intercom crackles something about not giving up on old Biggs, which seems to be Han's call sign, or maybe just him being Han.
Yeah, that bit's a little ambiguous, but the point is, Han chose friendship, chose the cause over his own self-interest. Huge character moment.
And Luke, guided by the Force, fires the proton torpedoes.
Bullseye, straight into the exhaust port.
The Death Star erupts. The novel describes its collapsed residue consuming itself for several days, forming the most impressive tombstone in this corner of the cosmos. Epic.
Victory. Back at the base, it's chaos, a cheering, gleeful throng. They actually did it.
And the final scene? The ceremony. Luke, Han, Chewie getting medals from Princess Leia. R2 and C-3PO there too, cleaned up.
A moment of triumph. The book notes Luke's attention is on the radiant Leia Organa, and then he hears something, faintly like a gratified sigh. Maybe a subtle hint of his presence, his approval, that spiritual victory alongside the military one.
So wrapping this up, we've covered a lot. The fall of a republic from within. A farm boy finding his destiny through loss and guidance.
A cynical smuggler finding something worth fighting for.
A princess leading a rebellion against impossible odds.
This dive into the novel really adds texture, doesn't it, to how these individual choices, often made under immense pressure, weave together into this grand narrative.
Absolutely. You see how C-3PO's fussiness, Luke's intuition, Han's change of heart, every little action matters. It really makes you think about agency, even when things feel predetermined or overwhelming.
Yeah, that opening quote comes back around, doesn't it? They were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Naturally, they became heroes. We've seen the what, but the novel gives us so much more of the how and the why.
It really does. So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. Is heroism really about destiny? Or is it about showing up when it counts and making a choice? Choosing to act, even when it's hard, even when you're scared. What seemingly small choices in your own life, maybe choices you make today, could echo outwards in ways you can't even imagine.